Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Grateful.
Yes, I know, right? I know we have to pause in our day, morning, noon, and night to see that we're grateful. It's that often
Mm,
check in. So I love that you said that, grateful is what pops in for you.
mm,
So thank you guys for pressing play and watching this week's Mindset Motivation and a beautiful story share from a member of the Mindset community. And I can't wait for you to meet her. If you can introduce yourself, that would be fabulous.
I am Dr. B. Nilaja Green, a licensed clinical psychologist. I spend most of my time actually working with trauma and healing from trauma. I work with varying communities, but in particular, I work with Black women and men, members of the LGBTQ community, and also veterans. I'm Atlanta based, but I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York,
Oh,
which for me is the only place in New York to be from.
wow.
Um, and in addition to my commitment to mental health, wellness, and healing, I am a creative. I write, I dance,
Awesome.
I find tons of DIY projects to do around my house, driving my spouse and my dog crazy. Um, but I really believe in fully living, right,
Mhm.
and fully experiencing, living to the limits, living to the borders
Love
of our humanness.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. What a beautiful introduction. I love that thought too, living to the borders. Like don't, restrict yourself. Like
Yeah.
life's about experiences and fear stops us from doing that for sure. So it's like that's a mindset shift in its own, like being able to appreciate that you can live extensively and fully, right?
Yeah.
Out holding yourself back with the fear. But I cannot wait for you to share. So I'm going to ask now, what is your 2 word story?
Courageously human.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's so amazing. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Why? So, why those beautiful words?
I think the adventure of being alive,
Hmm.
if you're living right, it'll terrify you at times. It will challenge you. It will shake the foundations of what you thought was true
Hmm.
and give you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to grow and expand and transform and gain wisdom. And I think intentional living is courageous living, right? When I decide to show up to something when I don't know all the answers, when I decide to commit to a relationship and I'm not completely sure how it's going to end, when I decide to take on a new opportunity and I feel mostly prepared for it, but not 100% prepared for it, but I believe, right, in the gift of learning, in the gift of growth opportunities.
Hmm.
All of that takes courage. And when you mention fear stopping us, fear is actually a very helpful emotion in that it helps to survive, but
Hmm.
it doesn't help us thrive. It doesn't help us expand. It doesn't help us live fully. It just makes sure that we make it from one crisis situation to the next crisis situation. And life is more than that. Life can be more than that.
Wow, that's amazing. I absolutely love the power behind those 2 words coming from your heart, like,
Mm.
especially the thrive aspect of it. So, when you are courageously human and you are fighting the fear that pops in all the time for us, then you can thrive, obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you don't the thriving is a powerful energy that actually combats, in my opinion, um, any doubt that's going to creep in, or
Hmm.
any kind of anxieties that might try to
Hmm.
pop in. So it's really powerful. And what about for you? Like, why was this your mantra? Like, there was times in your life that you were like, I'm courageously human, I need to be, kind of a thing?
So I think there are two main answers to that for me, maybe three.
Okay.
But we might have time for two.
Yeah.
So one is a personal answer and one is a professional answer. And For
Mm.
me, the personal and the professional are connected,
Yep.
meaning that I am fully me in my work, and my work is connected to my mission and my journey as a human being. So in those ways, those things are connected. So the personal piece is when I was 15, my mother died from liver cancer, and it was actually a very quick illness. So I did not have a lot of time to adjust to that. Being an only child, and my mother being my kind of only parent, I was left with the dilemma of having had my entire foundation removed from me and also being 15. And so 15 is such this interesting developmental moment, right? Where you're not really a kid anymore, but you're not quite a young adult. And so you are transitioning into becoming who you are. And so that was probably the first moment where I had to start to be intentional about my life.
Mhm.
That while I was grieving in a way I could never have imagined, right? Many people say, I can't imagine losing a parent. Like my life would stop. What would happen? So my life didn't stop.
Yeah.
But part of the reason my life didn't stop was because I had to be intentional about how I was going to continue my journey and how I was going to continue my journey when my heart was broken
Wow.
in a million little pieces, right? And so I think that was the first life opportunity I had to bring my courage to my humanity,
Wow.
and kind of learn what that can feel like. The professional piece is because of the work that I do, helping people heal from some of the most horrific experiences that human beings can imagine. We come up against fear all of the time. PTSD, right, post traumatic stress disorder, is primarily a disorder based in fear,
Yeah.
that the world becomes scary, people become scary, relationships become scary. And so I have to believe that fear is not the end of anyone's story.
Yep.
I have to believe and hold not only hope, but also resilience
Mm.
and the possibility of joy for the people that I work with. And
Wow.
all of those things take courage. It takes courage to overcome. It takes courage to find joy. I
Yeah.
think it takes courage to be grateful in the midst of distress. It
Yeah.
takes courage to look at fear and say, you are valid because you come from a real experience,
Mhm.
but you are not helpful or effective in this moment. So I
Right.
just need you to kind of move over, right? I think that takes courage. And so the courageously human piece is about living past fear, even when you have experienced things that
Mhm.
have been scary and horrific.
Mhm. Mhm. Like, I'm getting emotional even. You have a very well-spoken, calming energy, and it's just the power behind your your explanation and
Mm-hmm.
the life and the traumatic experience that you've walked through, and you saying that your courage had to meet your humanity,
Mm-hmm.
that together right there, that says it all. Like, and everyone that's tuned into this has to, you know, I challenge you to rewatch this and really let this sink in, because the thing is we're born into love, right? And we are, if you think back to when we're children, we're courageous all the time. Like, we're fearless. We don't have those PTSD and all these traumas that we've experienced. So can you tap into that, like, childlike courage,
Mm-hmm.
because it was there, it was in you, but then life kind of bats it down or beats it out of us almost. So I love this. I can't even tell you. It is such a beautiful story. And I can't thank you enough for being vulnerable enough to share with all of us, your real life example to why courageously human is your mantra. It's a life mantra for you. You can always
Yes.
grab a hold of that when you're feeling a certain way. It's like a way to pick your heart and your soul up and remind you
Yep.
you are courageous AF. You are. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so wonderful. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And vulnerability is a part of the courage, right? I really think Brene Brown has helped us
Yeah.
to reform how we hold vulnerability. This idea that being your authentic self is a weakness is such a perversion
Mhm.
of the power and the magic
Absolutely.
of showing up vulnerable, which really means just showing up as who you are,
Yeah.
right? Like it really just means authentically walking into the room. So thank you for this concept even of a two-word story, really having us think intentionally about our life mission and purpose and to boil it down,
Yeah.
right? Um, absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So much gratitude pouring through us and to all of you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and definitely follow for inspiration, and think about courageously human for yourself. And maybe you get out your journal or call up a friend or talk about the idea of being courageous. And is there anything you're fearful of right now that the courage is having a hard time pushing through, right?
Mhm.
So just think about this mantra. It's here for all of us as a community to think and sink into. And thank you for watching, and thank you for coming on. And we're sending you guys so much love. Bye.